Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the class. How are you all? I hope you people are good and safe at your home. If it is so, it's very good. And please take care of your health. Complete your exercise. Do your work regularly. Do not keep it up for future. Means in the next day. Do not make any balance for your next day. So complete any work you may get from anybody. Complete that work today itself. If it is to be done in today, you have to and you must complete that work today, then only you will be free for the tomorrow. And if you consider that tomorrow will be Sunday and Monday or Saturday and Sunday, I can complete if you have a plan of that things, and it will be postponed for next day. Then next day, who knows what happens for you people and how many works you may get. So complete your work today itself, then make your mind free and get into the important things like learning. So be happy, think positively, cultivate cheerfulness among you, and play with your family members and work hard. Most of the times it's in your hand now. It's nobody is going to restrict you people, but you are having such a mentality and ability in your mind that you can create your own future now. You can take your own decision and you are well matured. So people, make your own timetable and follow along with that, and break down the most of the time for the reading and also getting knowledge. So this time is only for the reading and getting knowledge. So if you make use of this for working hard, then in the future it will be somewhat good for your people, and have a very bigger aim in your future, so that can take you a good path, and that will make you to be busy in your work. So please have a busy in your work. That means do not make it as a burden. Do not think first of all as a burden. Think it as a passion. Take it as a passion, and go along with that. It will become very easy for you people, and complete your exercise as soon as possible and go along with your work. So in the last class we started our revision classes of the second chapter in the ninth class. Then we have started to discuss about the two important physical features. One is about, after discussing about the basic things we discussed, is not basic thing. It's about plate tectonic theory is written by the Big Bang theory. The hypothesis, it is written by, or it is composed by the Alfred Wegener in 1926. That's what we discuss about that. So because means by this all the hypotheses we got how our world and universe got formed. And about the plate tectonic theory, the movement of plates continuously, so that also got proved by the proof. Without a proof cannot be proved anything. If it is not proved by the proof, and it will not become a fact. So if it is not a fact, nobody is going to agree for those things. So these all the fact what we discussed till now about the Big Bang theory and plate tectonic theory. It's all the fact because it is all got proved by the proof. So that's the reason it's all really fact actually. So plate tectonic we have discussed, and about the physical features we have been discussing. About the Himalayan mountain ranges we discussed. We have longitudinal divisions and latitudinal divisions of Himalayan mountain. And the northern plain we discussed how the northern plain has got formed, and which is filled with a different distinct soil is called as alluvial soil. And the type and the reasons, types of the soils we discussed. Now we are going to discuss about the third most important physical features of India. That's about peninsular plateau. What is that plateau? Plateau is nothing but up table land. It's a table land. Means we know about the sea level. Sea level, it's a basic measurement level of any height of a land or anything. It's not the sea level. So from the sea level, take any land, it is having more height. Sea level, every land it is having some height, is not, except the trenches. Trenches we can see in the bottom of a sea. So here in the land, every land masses they are having somewhat height, and also some in between the land masses we have less than the sea level. But most of the land masses they have the height more than the sea level. So here the plateau is the larger area. The larger area is having more height in the same level. It's having height than any other lands level. So like it's called as a plateau. Table land, it's like a table. Suppose it's a plain area, it's a floor. If you keep a table there on the floor, how it looks like? Everything it will be in the down, but table is somewhat, it is top. It's in a top. It's not same like on the land surface. It's like putting a table. This land mass or this land feature is like a table. So here it's a table land, it's like a plateau, it's having a upland. This plateau is created by the Indian plateau is formed by the old crystallines and the old igneous rocks, the different types of rock, igneous and metamorphic and the crystalline rock. It's formed the peninsular plateau in India. We know why do we call India as a peninsular India, means peninsular country, because all the three side of it is covered by the water bodies, like here in the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal Sea, and here Indian Ocean. So all the three side of Indian landmass is covered by the water, and the one side is covered by the main land is called as a peninsular country. So same like country, so it's called as a peninsular plateau. So plateau is one of the oldest plateau in the world. The peninsular plateau what we have is the oldest plateau in the world, because this landmass is belong to the Gondwana landmass. What we have this Indian landmass is it was part of the Gondwana landmass what we discussed. So this India is also called as subcontinent. Even though it's belong to the Asian continent, it is there in the Asian continent. We call it as a subcontinent. If you call any country as a subcontinent, that should be somewhat off of the continent. That should be the size. That should be in the half of a continent. Otherwise, more than half of a continent, one continent. But this India is not even half of the Russian country. But also we call this India as a subcontinent. How? Because this India is not belong to the Asian continent. This India was a part of Gondwana landmass. It was connected with South America, South Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and India was together. So this is not belong to the Asian continent. Basically, this piece of a land, it's collided with Asia. It is collided now. Also, it's moving opposite direction. That's the reason the Himalayan mountain is growing up on the year by year. So it's called as youngest mountain in the world, the Himalayan mountain ranges. So here this peninsular plateau is the oldest plateau because it belongs to the Gondwana landmass. So there is formed or it is formed by the old crystalline and metamorphic and igneous rock. This plateau has two divisions. This plateau has two divisions. One is Central Highland, it's called as the Central Highland. Another one is Deccan Plateau, means Deccan Plateau, same. Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. This Central Highland and Deccan Plateau are divided, segmented into two divisions. This peninsular plateau segmented into two divisions because of western flowing river. Western flowing river antandre the river which moves from east to the west. This is western flowing river. Eastern flowing river antandre the river which flows from west to east. This side is west, is not. The right of India from their side is west and east, north, south is not. This rivers, it's not a river actually, they have made some boundary, it's not a river. So here we have a river, it's called as Narmada and Tapi. The Narmada and Tapi, these are the two important rivers which flows from east to the west. These are the main two rivers which flows towards western direction. So this river that divides this peninsular plateau into two, one is Central Highland, another one is Deccan Plateau. So in among these two important plateaux, we have segments, we have divisions in among that due to the different features what we have according to that plateau. So we'll discuss about that. The peninsular plateau is the tableland formed due to the breaking and drifting of a Gondwana land. So once this all the continent and what we have, these islands and the continent countries were together, it was called as a supercontinent. We had a name, that means Alfred Wegener has given a name for that supercontinent. It is called as a Pangaea. The remaining place, Earth's surface was covered by the water body, is called as a Panthalassa. We know about all those things. So Pangaea's got divided into two, means it's segmented into two pieces because of endogenic force and whirling and rotation and revolution around the sun that may be caused. Nobody knows the reason, exactly reason about that, how it has, why it has divided. Nobody knows, but they have notions, they have an idea that it may be happened like this because of these factors like rotation, revolution around the sun, and the endogenic force that might be caused for the breaking of Pangaea into two. The upper portion of Pangaea is called as a Laurentian landmass. The southern part of Pangaea is called as a Gondwana landmass. So this India was belonged to the Gondwana. Then further, as time passed, these Pangaea and Gondwana started to break in between into so many segments. Maybe the same reason, maybe the endogenic forces and the rotation revolutions. Nobody knows exactly. They have not found. So because they didn't get a proof, they know, but the proof they have not got a proof. Is not. They need to prove that with a proof that they are not got. So that's the reason it has not become a fact. But they have notions. So here maybe because of all those reasons they have uh, divided into so many pieces, and that pieces that started to cover over the earth surface. That's what we have the at present position. Now that has divided into so many plates, 7 important plates, tectonic plates, and 21 minor tectonic plates. Now also these all the plates are moving. So this Indian subcontinent was belong to the Indo-Australian tectonic plate. Indo-Australian tectonic plate. So this Indo-Australian tectonic plate, it was started to move towards the northern direction, and the Laurentian tectonic plate, it was moving towards the southern direction. So Laurentian tectonic plate is Asia Europe, is not. Asia Europe is moving southern direction. And that time this India-Australian plate, it was going towards north. So it was collided to each other. So that caused for the creation of Himalayan mountains. The plateau consists of two broad divisions, namely the Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. It is created by this flowing of western flowing of river called as Narmada and Tapi. The eastward extension of a peninsular plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand, Baghelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. Here, let me discuss. We have two divisions in this plateau. One is Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. This Central Highland is covered and bounded by the ranges, mountain ranges. We have a Aravalli mountain ranges here. Can you able to see this? Yes, it's an Aravalli mountain ranges. In the west of Aravalli mountain ranges, we have a desert. In the east of Aravalli mountain ranges, we have the beginning of Central Highland from the west. So here we have Central Highland. So it is bounded these Vindhya mountain ranges, Vindhya Parvatagalu anta kelirtare Kannadadalli. So here Vindhya ranges. So in the west of Vindhya ranges we have Aravalli, in the east of Vindhya ranges we have Satpura, and the east of Satpura ranges we have Mahadev, Kaimur and Michael. So these are the mountain ranges what we have in the Central Highland. So in the east of all these mountain ranges we have Bundelkhand, Baghelkhand and Malwa Plateau. We have Malwa Plateau over here in the west, and that will be followed by the Bundelkhand in the east, and east of Bundelkhand Plateau we have Baghelkhand Plateau. These are the some divisions what we have in the Central Island. As we go towards the southern direction, after passing the Narmada and Tapi, because these are the reason for having divisions in between. So here Narmada and Tapi, after that we have the main important plateau of India is called as a Deccan Plateau, like a Chota Nagpur Plateau. So here we have a Chota Nagpur Plateau which belongs to this Central Highland, like Deccan Plateau, the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Here we have a deposition of most of the minerals what we are getting in India. So that's supporting for increasing our economic activity. So we have deposition of important minerals over in the Chota Nagpur Plateau. This looks like the triangular in shape. This Deccan Plateau that looks like triangular in the shape because the southern portion of India is same, it's in the triangular. So the reason it's look like in the triangular, actually it's in the triangular shape. Here we have divisions further, Maharashtra Plateau, and here we have the Andhra Pradesh Plateau, Karnataka Plateau and the Tamil Nadu Plateau. So but it is not having much differences as like we have in the Central Highland. So this southern plateau, are also called as Deccan Plateau, is bounded by the two important mountain ranges as we saw in the Central Highland. Here in the western directions, in the western part we have Western Ghats, in the eastern part we have Eastern Ghats. So we will be getting questions based on these, distinguish between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So you need to explain, suppose for the 3 marks you need to explain with a 3, 5, and important, if it is relevant, the 3 marks, 3 point is enough. So you need to explain along with the points. You should not write in the paragraph wise. Nobody will be having interest to read your points over there, like your para is not. Nobody is interested to read your story over there. Make it as a point wise. Underline the important words over there with the different color pencils. It's so very much required over there. Here the Western Ghats are continuously connected mountain ranges than the Eastern Ghats. Here we can see this Eastern Ghats are disconnected in between, because we have most of the rivers which flows towards eastern direction, so that has to cut through over there, is not. So it has it has made a segment because of the flowing of river towards the eastern directions. Like over here what we have, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and the Kaveri. These are the four rivers, main rivers which flows towards eastern direction, and that is the reason it is not connected continuously. And the height of Western Ghats is having more, somewhat from the 900 meters to the 1.6 kilometers of a height it has. But here we have only 600 meters of height in the Eastern Ghats, and it is continuously connected, and we have a less gap in between this Western coastal plain and Western Ghats, and we have more gap in between this Eastern coastal plain and Eastern Ghats over here. So we can see, so because here it has created the delta, it is created, means rivers which flows towards eastern direction, it has created a delta over here. So because of that we have some plain areas. So you will be having some doubt how these Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats formed, sir. How it has formed? Because of like what you call collision. Same here we have the ocean body over here, the sea body, both are the sea body and the ocean bodies. Now also everything are moving. So here this is pulling towards western direction, and this ocean body is moving pulling towards eastern direction because of the sandwich what they have done like this. So here this portion is pulling this land mass, eastern part of a land mass towards the western direction. This is pulling towards eastern direction. So that's the reason the Western Ghats it has came up, and the Eastern Ghats also it is came out because of the collision. But in between it is nothing happened because it is a tableland. It is the strongest land. The plateau is the strongest land because it's made up of hard rocks. But here it has came up. It's formed the mountain ranges in all the boundary, means eastern boundary, eastern boundary. The Deccan Plateau, a triangular mass, lies to the south of the Narmada, river Narmada. The western and eastern edge of a Deccan Plateau are marked by the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats respectively. The Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats. The Malwa Plateau is spread across Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat and slope towards the north. A distinct features of a peninsular plateau is the black soil are known as Deccan Trap. Here, this Western Ghats is having more height as we discussed, and the Eastern Ghats are having less comparing with the Western Ghats. Here, this both Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats that combines together here in the boundary of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Not here, somewhat wrongly they have made. So here, these Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats that connects each other here in this portion. That's called with the name Nilgiri Hills, Nilgiri Hill Ranges. So here it has a name, its own name, it's called Nilgiri Hill Ranges because it is connected with the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. Here the highest mountain peak in the Western Ghats is Annamudi, which is there in Tamil Nadu, Annamudi, and Doddabetta in Karnataka. Second place is Doddabetta in Karnataka, it is having highest peak. In the Eastern Ghat, Mahendragiri is the name of that mountain peak which is having highest peak in the Eastern Ghats. Mahendragiri, and here we have Annamudi and Doddabetta. So regionally it's called with a different name. The regionally it's called with a different names. That's about the peninsular plateau. Now we'll go for the discussion about the Indian desert. So you know it's a picture that you need to get in front of your eye, means the virtual. You should get that, is not. When you ask questions, when you get a questions about this physical features of India, you should get this map. So this is Himalayan mountain. As you go towards the southern part of Himalayan mountain, you will get this northern plain. In the south, you will get a Deccan plateau, means peninsular plateau. Not only Deccan plateau, it's a peninsular plateau. And here we have Indian desert. Here we have the same plateau and western coastal plain, eastern coastal plain, and the two islands they have not given. So these are the picture, and you will get a questions based on this. You should be ready. So now I will be discussing about the desert of India. We have here the desert of India. So now most of the desert that lies in Pakistan. The catchment area of a desert is 2 lakh square kilometer. The undulating sandy plain covered with the sand dunes towards the western margin of Aravalli Hills is the Indian desert. We know, as we discussed here in the last concept, it's a western portion of Aravali hills. Here we have Aravali ranges, hill ranges. So western part of Aravali hill ranges is covered by the sand. This areas is totally covered by the sand, is called as the Thar deserts. So this desert is extended towards Gujarat. Some portion of Gujarat also covered by the sand. So we have some portion of this western and northwestern part of Gujarat is covered by the sand. It's a desert. So here we have a Thar desert, and most of the Thar desert that lies in Pakistan, even in the Pakistan. So here these areas that receives highest temperature, and also that area is not drained by any river. So you can ask me a question, sir, is there no any river in the desert, Thar desert? Yes, we have one river in the Thar desert. We have one river in the Thar desert. The name of a river is Luni, Luni. It's a Luni river in the Thar desert that only appears during the monsoon season, means rainy season, and that disappears after the getting over of monsoon season. Whenever the Thar desert receives rainfall, at that time that gets a water for that river, Luni river. Then after that season get over, the same river will be also disappears. But you know, whenever that river, what you call the Luni river, gets a water during the rainy season, and that time the water will be there in that river, but that water will not connect into the Arabian Sea. It will not discharge that water into the Arabian Sea. You know, whatever the river which flows here in India, it may be Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Narmada, Tapi, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri. These all the rivers are there in India. These all the rivers that discharges that water into the particular sea. Here this Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri that discharges its water into the Bay of Bengal along with this Brahmaputra, Ganga. Here Tafi, Narmada and Indus that discharges that water into the Arabian Sea. But the Luni river which is there in the desert, that will not connect into the Arabian Sea, because the river that flows for only 2 and 3 days, then that will penetrate into the what you call the desert. ಅದು ನೀರು ನದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ 2 ದಿನ, 3ನೇ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಒಳಗಡೆ ನೀರು ಹೋಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಮರಳಿದೆ, ಉಸುಕಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಬೇ ಆಫ್ Arabian Sea. So that's what, and that receives very highest temperature over there. The crescent shaped dunes called Barkans covered large part of the Indian desert. Luni is the only large river that flows in this region. The Barkans is called as crescent ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ ಸನ್, ಶಿವ ಇನ್ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂಥರ ಅರ್ಧ ಚಂದ್ರ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಧ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾಲಭಾಗ ಚಂದ್ರ, 15% ಚಂದ್ರ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, 15% ಮೂನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ರಿಸೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ರಿಸೆಂಟ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಆಫ್ sand dunes in the desert is called as a Barkans. So this Barkans will be created by the deposition of the sands which is carried by the wind. So this all the Barkans will be created here as a boundary. That's about the desert, Indian desert, what we discuss. And the next class will have the 2 more important physical features of India. And I hope you understood. Complete your classwork and maintain your rough notebook. Thank you. Have a nice day.